quite some time since I've last uploaded a video. Unfortunately enough, due to certain life circumstances, I was kind of forced to take a hiatus from crafting ASMR videos on a regular basis. But the good news is that I'm back for at least the foreseeable future, which basically means that there's pretty much nothing conflicting with this. But I just don't want to say I'll be back forever without knowing that for sure. What I wanted to do today was give you guys a rundown of my pretty uninteresting and uninspired game collection. So without further ado, we should probably get started. So first up, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to my heavily abbreviated collection of Xbox 360 games. So first up is my copy of Gears of War 3. This is actually a game I've never completed or even attempted to play, because the funny part is I actually never finished beating Gears of War 2. Yep, I beat Gears of War 1 way back when, and played a little bit of the multiplayer and wasn't a huge fan. But I have bought this game many times before, with every intention to beat it and get more into the multiplayer, and each time I have failed because I am just not a huge fan of the Gears series in general. So I mean, again, I must have bought this game or had it bought for me like 3 or 4 times total, but I've yet to actually sit down and finish it, which is kind of sad, but it's pretty funny. So last, but definitely not least, at least based on my collection, is my copy of Metal Gear Solid Rising. This is a game I got really late into my owning of the Xbox 360, so I never got to finish it. But from what I played, it was actually a ton of fun. And in case you guys aren't aware, I'm a big fan of Raiden. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, so next up is in my opinion, equally as an interesting collection of PlayStation 4 games. Alright, so what do we got here? First up, we have the totally white bread copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I mean, this is pretty quintessential for most average everyday gamers. I mean, yes, we like our JRPGs and our, puzzle platformers and stuff like that, but this game is more than likely in a good percentage of average gamers, if you will, collection. It's a good game overall. I used to really suck at the multiplayer, but these days I am getting a little better, and because of that, I am enjoying it a lot more than I was previously. Next up is another pretty essential game in any average gamer or hardcore gamer's collection, being Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I actually own this game on the Xbox 360 as well, but by the time I had acquired a PlayStation 4, I had not beaten always been a really big fan of Mortal Kombat, and I've always liked Street Fighter a lot. I've been a much bigger fan of Mortal Kombat over the years, but unfortunately enough, Mortal Kombat X actually doesn't do it for me, for certain reasons, just involving the game mechanics and stuff like that. I think Street Fighter V is generally a more fair game in terms of its mechanics. It's more rewarding with defense and things like that. As much as I love Mortal Kombat, sometimes I think Mortal Kombat X specifically is a bit of a mess with just the way it works, just the way the mechanics are, and it kind of got me out of the game. Bear in mind, it's still an excellent game, but this one specifically, I guess, wasn't my cup of tea. That being said, I'm really excited for Injustice 2. So, anyway, we'll be moving on to my slightly more impressive Wii U and Wii collection. So first up, we have a copy of everyone's favorite builder platformer, Super Mario Maker. Say what you will with other platformer building titles, but in my opinion, Mario Maker is probably the best platform builder game I've ever come across, without question. I kind of make it a point to attempt to beat reasonable expert levels. Emphasis being on the word reasonable, because some of the levels on here are insane and only exist to irritate you and make you want to quit the game. So yeah, excellent game overall. I recommend it to anyone who has any sort of itching to play Mario at any point in time in their life. Next up, we have a copy of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. So, Smash Bros. 4 is not the first Smash game I've ever owned, but it's the first one I actually sat down and began to learn to play. I haven't played in quite some time, and I wouldn't say that I'm good by any measure, but I've learned a lot about this game, or the Smash series, because of this game, despite the fact that I had owned the Nintendo 64 version and Brawl previously. Next up, we have a copy of a very interesting game, Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 is an interesting game because it's not like much out there that we've seen on the Wii U otherwise. A lot of fun playing Bayonetta 1, and although I haven't played much of Bayonetta 2 after Bayonetta 1, it seems as if it's just as good, if not better, than the original. Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Great game overall. I was pretty far in it until I had to stop playing because of school and stuff like that. The funny thing is, I was actually saving this game to present it later on in the lineup, but then I realized, as I pulled it out, that you guys have already seen this. So there's no point in trying to surprise you, I guess, in Zelda. We have a somewhat interesting collection of Wii games, which I'd finally like to share with you guys. Alright, first up is the game Okami. This is another game I've bought 2 to 3 times before without ever actually having completed it. something stars in order of their appearance, only to have my game erased once I traded in my Wii to get a Wii U. I immediately assumed that game saves would transfer on the SD card and that everything would be fine once I plugged this game into my Wii U. When I first plugged it in and found out that none of my frickin' game save was there, I was pretty upset. So it was really irritating, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played the game since. It's Donkey Kong Country Returns. This is a game that for whatever reason I pop in every now and then, even when I'm not in the mood to play a Wii or Wii U game, or even when I have other games that I know I need to play. For some reason I keep coming back to this, probably because it's such a fun and simple platformer, which I actually like a lot. So guys, there you have it. That is my entire collection of physical games, going all the way back to the original Nintendo Wii. Also, I just wanted to reiterate that even though I haven't uploaded a video in quite some time, I do intend on coming back to the ASMR vids in a more consistent manner. Alright, so anyways guys, thanks for watching, and